I welcome us to another class, Media and Society. We're going to look at another area of the mass media, which has to do with mass media development. As you may be aware, we're going to take exams. Continuous assessment is going to be based on the assignment that you have been submitting. So if you have not submitted assignment, you're on your own. So we're going to continue from where we stopped. We're going to be looking at media development. We're going to be looking at media and development. Now, the question is, what is development? What is development communication? Or what is media development? How do we use media to foster the society? You know very well that a society that is not developed will definitely be left behind. For example, Nigeria is referred to as a developing, but we have countries that are known as developed nations. Now, the reason being that it is the reason for that is because they have advanced in technology, advanced in putting infrastructures in place to make life comfortable and better for the people. So anywhere that you see that there is progress, just know that it is because there is development there. Now, media experts have posited that one of the ways in which a society can experience speedy development is when the media is involved, that the media has a role in helping to foster, in helping to enhance development in a particular society. So we have what we call development communication refers to the use of communication to facilitate social development. Now, development communication engages stakeholders and policymakers, establishes conducive environment, assesses risk and opportunity, as well as promote information exchanges to create positive social change via sustainable development. Now, what are we saying here? We are saying that a society where communication is allowed, there's free flow of communication from the media people. What happens? It engages the stakeholders. Now, who are the stakeholders in a society? Who are stakeholders that help development? We have the government, you have the citizens, you have several agencies. The media also is a stakeholder when it comes to development in a society. So right now we're talking about the role that communication, the role that the media plays in ensuring that there's what? In ensuring that there is social change or positive change in any society. So communication must be involved. Communication back and forth must be involved when it comes to development in a society. Now, why media development matters? Why does media development matters? The media can be a powerful force for change in both developed and developing countries. So the mere fact that America, UK, France, Germany, Canada, the mere fact that they are already developed has not stopped the role of the media in ensuring that there is sustainable development. So that's what we call sustainable development. So it's not just experiencing development. Development must be sustained. Now, the media can be a powerful force for change in both developed and developing countries. In developing countries, it can have an important role in advancing a proper development agenda, as well as supporting economic growth by stimulating consumer markets, where it's able to effectively fulfill the roles of watchdog, gatekeeper, and agenda setter It can improve governance by raising citizen awareness of social issues. Now, what we're saying here is that the media has a very vital role in ensuring. Now, one of the roles that the media play in aiding development in society is awareness. The role of citizens awareness both ways. First way is that the role of citizen awareness that the government, that they deserve to live, to live in an environment. The healthcare sector is moving forward, where there are facilities, where there are primary health center where people can go when they are challenged in their health. The people need to be aware that it is their right to enjoy social welfare. We're talking about social amenities, good water, good road, good life. So the media comes play the role of creating awareness, sensitizing the people, letting them know that the government is the role of the government, and it is their right to demand that there is development. It is their right to know that education should be made free for the people, and educational, infrastructures should be put in place to ensure that the people are able to go to school without any inhibition. Now, look at the state of the health sector of Nigeria today. Thank God, in quote, for COVID-19 that came to expose the weakness of the health sector of Nigerian sector. Now, money is now being deployed to put infrastructure in place in the health sector. What ought to have been done? What ought to be the right of the people from the outset? And that's what democracy is all about. And that's what governance is all about. And we're going to look at governance too today. So, but we're looking at what role does the media play in aiding the growth of development in a society. So creating awareness on the part. Now, the second awareness is letting people aware when government have done the needful, when government has provided infrastructure, when government has done what they ought to do, supporting agriculture, making sure that people have access to funds easily. We remember some time ago that the government slashed down the price of registering small businesses and other corporate organizations too. So if you want to register a business, I remember it was slashed down by 50%. Now, this is part of development we're talking about, because the government knows that the SME sector is one of the drivers of any economy, and so it will be bad of a government to make it difficult for SME, small and medium enterprises, to find difficult to register their business. So as part of their effort, they decide to cut down the registration fees that those that want to register their business should pay. And so it is role of the government in this case to now what? To create awareness to the people that government government has reduced the price or the cost of registering business. Now, another role that the media can play in development is what? To set agenda. When we talk about agenda, we've talked about agenda at different times when we have met. We say it's like being in a meeting. A secretary set agenda to give direction as to how the proceedings of the meeting, what are the things to be discussed in a meeting. So the secretary reads the agenda for the day, and and then the chairman of the meeting begins to pick the agenda, one after the other, until they've exhausted all the issues for the day. So in a society too, the media exists to set agenda so that those in governance and the electorate, the citizen, can know that this aspect of the economy has not been developed. So the media raises an issue for discussion. The media raises an issue to media is in development. So the media tries to highlight, for example, in the past few weeks, it has all been the health sector, the health sector, the health sector, the health sector. So the media sets the agenda or put a searchlight on that sector, and it becomes a topical issue both in the government space and also among the citizens. Now, the next one is, so you can imagine a situation where the media is not existing in a society. Now, that will spell doom for the advancement of that society, because everybody will be in the dark. Nobody will know what the government is planning. Nobody will know when a particular sector of the economy is, is in a state of comatose. But with the government, with the media in play, it brings it to limelight, it brings it to the fore, it sets agenda for discussion and for taking responsibility by the government. The next one is it amplifies poor infrastructure or exposes. So the media, in playing its role in media development, is that it exposes areas where there are poor infrastructures. We have so many sectors of the economy that the government is not aware today. So we have people in other, we have ethnics that some ethnics in Nigeria that development has been slow there. So it is the role of the government to do what? To amplify, to expose. It is such areas. It is the role of the government the role of the media to amplify it, to expose that, come, this thing that was done this a year ago, how come it has got deteriorated? So it is the role of the government. I remember sometime ago in Lagos State, during the time of Ambode wanted to repair about 114 road in Lagos State, and he carried the media people along. And before they began to repair the road, what they did was that they exposed the state of the roads in Lagos State. And then for every stage of the road repair project, the media was exposing the state. The media was exposing the level in which the project has gone until final conclusion. Now the same media will go a year after to now review, to let the people know how far the road that was contracted out to contractors, that how far have they been sustainable enough, or have they been wrecked again? So that's one of the roles that the media play in this. So the media also plays the role of accountability, holds government accountable. Government is the one collecting taxes from the citizen. Government is the one managing the taxes. Government is the one also allotting budget on a yearly basis to all the sectors of the economy. So in media development, the media plays the role of ensuring. So if the media, if government budget a particular amount to agri sector or to human capital sector, then it is necessary for it to give account as to how the monies were spent, what is the level of progress. For example, the area of power supply. Power is very important in any society, most especially to drive the economy business wise and all that. Now that sector has been a challenge for so many years, and the media has done a lot in exposing, in ensuring that government gives account as to how the money that is budgeted to power is spent and what is the level of progress. A lot of there was a time that government had to, people were clamoring that PHCN NEPA before, defunct NEPA should be privatized. The clamor by the citizen was much, to the extent that government now decided to yield to it. And then today we have private sectors who are responsible for power distribution in Nigeria, who are responsible for distribution of power in Nigeria. So that is as far as the role the media plays. So there's what we also call community media in development. Community media in development. The media is also responsible to liaise with the community, find out what the people are going through at the community level. And that's why these days we have what we call community media. We have community newspaper, community newspaper, grassroots television, grassroots. We have grassroots journalism. Now, grassroots journalism is part of the role that the media plays in media development, so as to report what is happening at the grassroots, to what? To the government. So because they believe that government should be able to, but government should be able to give attention to what is going on at the grassroots. So and the only way government can know what is happening in the grassroots is when the media plays its role. So this day we have community newspaper, we have community radio that report issues, we have community television that report issues, we have community that report issues. You have several programs addressing community issues. All of these are tailored towards the role of the media in developing our society cannot be underestimated, must not be compromised. So that is just in a nutshell what media development is all about. Now, the next thing I want to discuss with us is media and governance. Media and governance. Media and governance. Very, very important too for us to understand the concept of media and governance. Now, when we talk about governance, it's a little bit similar to what I've just said about development. Now, we must understand that it is the responsibility of governments that are democratically elected to govern the people effectively, to govern the people effectively. Okay, now media and good governance. Now, the relationship between media and good governance was the theme, the 2005 theme for UNESCO World Press Freedom Day. And it is a subject of discussion almost every year that the media has a role to play when it comes to good governance. Now, when we talk about governance, good governance, now we're talking about it is the way in which citizens voice their interest, mediate their differences, and exercise their fundamental human rights and obligation. I'll take that again. Now, when we talk about governance, governance implies the way the ways through which citizens and groups in a society, governance implies the way through which citizens and groups in a society voice their interests, mediate their differences, and exercise their legal rights and obligation. When we talk about good governance, it includes notions of greater participation by civil society in decision making, instituting the rule of law, anti-corruption, transparency, accountability, poverty reduction, and human rights. I'll take that again. Good governance includes notion of greater participation by civil society in decision making, instituting the rule of law, anti-corruption, transparency, accountability, poverty reduction, and human rights. Now, good governance links government to the notion of responsibility for and to the citizenry, as opposed to the traditional idea of authority over a nation legitimacy emanating from popular assent to and participation in government, which concern with welfare of the citizen. Now, what are we saying here? We are saying that when a society elects the few people into governance, if in your citizenship class, you should have learned what government is all about. When we talk about government, it's all about providing leadership. A few people are elected, democratically elected into the government to lead the people. And now, when they are elected, there is an expectation from the people. There's an expectation from the people on those who are in leadership today. For example, in Nigeria, we have democratically elected President Muhammadu Buhari, and is running his second term. You and I elected in respect governance. Now, when we talk about good governance, we're talking about ensuring that the people have a say in the running of the affairs of the country. In one way or the other, they must have a say. If policies are made and the people are not happy about that policy, then the government of the day should listen. Now, their listening shows that's a feature of good governance. When people are free enough to express their fundamental human rights to congregate, right to assemble, right to choose a religion, right to good justice, fair justice, right to what? Right to good living. All of these make up what we call good governance. When the people can sleep with their two eyes closed, that is good governance. Some time ago, when during this period of the lockdown, we were told that more million boys were on rampage, and then the governor in Lagos and the governor in Ogun, they rose up to the occasion and ensured that they deploy security agents out there to ensure that the people can close with their two eyes, or they can sleep with their two eyes closed and not open their eyes. Now, that is a feature or characteristic of good governance when the safety and security of people are ensured. Now, the outbreak of the pandemic in Nigeria today and across the world. Now, you see, government of the day, presidents, leaders of prime ministers of nations are rising up to the occasion, coming up with policy that will ensure that we don't lose too much life. Now, when all of these activities take place, you can say those are characteristics of good governance. Now, good governance cannot be effective without carrying the media along. So the media plays a very key, fundamental role, a critical role in ensuring good governance. So it is similar to the development we are talking about. Now, when the development I mentioned earlier on cuts across infrastructure, making sure that things are available for the people to live a good life. Now, when we talk about governance, we are talking about there are some things that are intangible, we cannot see. There's some things that we cannot see, such as the security I told us about, making sure that security apparatus are in place, making sure the people can live in safety. We're talking about people can move freely. People can do business freely without anybody coming to harass them. People, when their rights are infringed upon, they can sue. And then somebody who also infringes somebody's right can also be sued. Now, that is an element of good governance. When there is time of election, the people can confidently go and choose who they want. And then the incumbent governor or the incumbent president simply step aside. Now, that is an element of good governance, but be that cannot be a reality without the presence of the media. So the media plays a role in ensuring that there's good governance. We remember back when one of the presidential aspirants, after he lost the election, and then certain things were happening, and then he decided to embark on what we call revolution Nigeria. Now, government saw it as a threat. Government saw it as an act that is not that does not align with they saw that word revolution, that revolution is an act of disturbance of the peace and security of the state. And so what they do, they decided to arrest him, stop that protest march, and then they put him, he was in detention and then was charged to court. Now, along the line, it was look as if government was winning, but as time went on, justice was given to him. But something happened along the way. One of the court session, the federal government decided to send EFCC, also security agent, to go and stop court proceeding. Doing, go and stop a court proceeding, and it was embarrassing that how can the executive just go into the space of the judiciary to go and stop court proceedings. Because what happened was that everybody ran for their dear life, because the security agents were really kitted up as if they were going to war, and everybody took to their heels and they arrested Sowore again. But we thank God that, well, at the end of the day, after some time again, they released him. But that act does not show good governance, because they do not allow the rule of law to prevail. The rule of law says that everybody that talks about the rule of law talks about the supremacy of the law. In other words, everybody is subject to the law. Nobody is above the law. So even the president himself is not above the law. So the law is what guides everybody. So the law is always supreme above every or any individual in any society. So in this regard, so the media comes to play a major role in ensuring that actions and policies, of the government allows for free flow of governance. Now, whatever policy, whatever action that government brings to the people are carried along. The people, it is for, it should be for the good of governance. It should be for the good of people. And where issues are raised that people are not happy, then the government can they can review such policy, and those are elements of good governance. And it is the media that makes all of this possible. What media is, as far as governance is all about. So media and good governance, so God, part of good governance, part of good governance is that the people they participate in everything that has to do with governance. Now, when we were on lockdown, the people were clamoring for palliative. It is part of good governance. So it is the responsibility of government to listen to what the people are saying. That you can't lock us down without making palliatives available. So, and that was actually attended to. There was a time that also the border was closed, and government was able to justify why the borders were closed. And today we are reaping the benefit or the good of it. Why? Because we no longer depend on foreign rice, we no longer depend on foreign chicken. We are now looking, they call it inward integration. So it was a policy that government put in place for a good purpose. Initially, the people resisted it, but the media was able to break it down. The media was able to analyze. The media was able to research, to look at it from every angle, to bring experts to talk on it, so that you and I, as honestly, we can understand. So that is the role of media in ensuring good governance. Please go and read further on good governance. What I go further and read on these challenges of good governance, because exam is coming very soon. So exam is going to cover all the areas where we have touched. Okay, so we move forward to the last aspect, of the class, and which is media effect, theory of mass effects, mass theory of mass media effects. Okay, now let's just hold on. Okay, we have about 9 minutes more. Okay, theory of mass media effects. Okay, now when we talk about theories, now what is the goal of a theory? Now, theory strives to formulate the statements or proposition. Theory strives to formulate statements or proposition that will have some explanation. Now, theory, let me take it again. When we talk about a theory seeks to explain the effect of mass communication or mass media on society, audiences, and people. This effect can either be intended or unintended by those sending the message or messages. Theory seeks to explain the uses to which people put mass communication. I don't know whether you get that. What we're discussing now is the theory of mass media effect. The mass media is so powerful that it has an effect on the audience. Now, there are theories behind why the mass media affects you and I. Some time ago, I talked about that you see somebody who engages in smoking, and he will tell you is that because as a result of consistent viewing of smoking television. Right now, I discover that the rate of rape in our society is on the increase. Now, there are theories behind why there's increase in rape. Is it that it's probably that men are giving themselves continually to pornography, and then it is playing back in the way they conduct themselves in the society with the opposite sex. So theory tends to explain the actions that, theory tends to explain the action, to explain actions of people at any given time. So theory is not limited to we have political theories, we have philosophical theories. So, but we are more concerned about mass media theory. And we say theory seeks to explain the effect of mass communication on society. So mass communication is not just existing, it has an effect on the society. The billboard that you see placed on the highway has an effect, because if it does not have an effect, the advertising agency placing it there will not place it there. They know the effect of you consistently seeing that advert. Look at the Indomie advert that they play on TV. The Indomie advert we see on billboard. For as long as children keep seeing this Indomie advert, they will keep asking their parents, "Mommy, I want Indomie, I want Indomie." So there's a theory behind that constant demand by children. So that's what we're talking about. So theory seeks to explain the uses to which we put mass communication. Now, theory explains the role of mass media in shaping audiences' value and opinion. What we're saying that the mass media has a way of shaping our values. Mass media has a way of shaping our opinion. Look at today. A lot of our ladies dress, in a way that you wonder whether they are in America or whether they're in UK. Now, the reason why their dressing is being influenced is because of consistent consumption of mass media messages. They go online to watch. They watch cable TV stations. They watch CNN. They watch a lot of all this. So all of these things, and you see also our stars too, the Nigerian stars, music stars, acting, Nollywood stars and what American stars. Many have seen them as role models. There is that, and they start dressing the way they are dressed. Now, there is a theory, there's a mass media theory behind why when a Jay-Z or Jay-Z or whatever, dresses or cuts his hair, and you see some guys, right now you see so many guys who are putting on dreads because they see people on TV, on the internet, you see their stars, they see their role model put on what dreads. You see people wearing Naira Marley, and acting the way Naira Marley acts. There is a theory behind that, and that's what we refer to as mass media. The theory of effect of mass media. Now, there are what we call, there are about 3 different theories. There are many, but time will not permit me to mention everything. But I can just quickly explain about 1 or 2 of this media theory. I want you to please go and research more on some of these media theories. Now, the first one is agenda setting theory. Now, agenda setting theory is an easy theory, similar to the explanation I've given to us about the mass media setting agenda, bringing an issue to the fore, bringing an issue for discussion in the public space. Now, so there's a theory behind that. When the media brings an issue to limelight, when a media brings an issue to limelight that is subject, that is meant for discussion in public space. For example, the issue of the 5G. 5G became, the issue of 5G in Nigeria became an issue of discussion in the society, on social media, on the internet, and what have you. Now, media was responsible for bringing that up. That is Nigeria engaging in, is India introducing 5G, the 5G technology, and they were linking it to the COVID-19. So it became a subject of discussion. So the theory behind that is referred to what? Agenda setting theory. Now, the other theory is what we call the uses and gratification theory. The uses and gratification theory. Now, what is the uses and gratification theory? We are saying that it is a theory that explains that people have their own personal reason for making use of the content or the message that comes from the mass media. So many people watch television, you watch cable, you go online because you have a need for it. So it's not as if you are taking hook, line, and sinker the content of the media, but rather you as an individual, you are going to watch a particular program. Maybe it's an entrepreneurship program, maybe it's a fashion program, maybe it's a movie program, but you are going there to satisfy your own need. So that act of you going to satisfy your need from the content you take from the mass media is referred to as what uses and gratification theory. You understand the word gratification. Gratification means you are satisfying your own urge. You are satisfying your own urge. So the act of you as a person, a group of people choosing to go and watch a program because they find use for that program, because they are learning lessons, they are learning something from that program, from that content on the media. Now, that act of deliberately or intentionally going to the media to achieve a
Time
purpose
up.
is what is referred as the uses and gratification.
Mr. Pajonu, time up.
Okay, so that is the more we can. 1 minute more, plus 1 minute more now. 1:59 here.
Mr.
Okay, so
Pajonu,
guys,
time up.
I want to believe that I've said so many things that can add value to you. So please go and read further on the theories of the effect of mass media. I can send a website link to you where you see information about all of these theories. So see you in the next class, and please prepare for your exam. Your exam is drawing closer. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day ahead.